Hello, and welcome to On the Lake on BLTV,
where we highlight daily life on and around campus here at Boys Latin here in Baltimore. I'm Spencer Ford.
And I'm Desi Arrup. On today's show, we examine the end of one era and the beginning of another. That's coming up.
But first, what's all the noise about? We take a look at the construction happening on campus here at Boys Latin. Here's Evan Dackman.
With the ongoing construction within the upper school, a lot has changed from being a, quote, normal school year. There's a lot of work going on throughout campus, but what's really affecting us students is the remodeling of the upper school.
It's safe to say the construction here on Lake Avenue has affected every person in our community.
From constant banging and drilling to cement dripping down Miss West walls, this semester has been headlined by construction.
There are times when it's frustrating. I'll have to be honest with you, as I'm moving teachers from classroom to classroom. Mr. Mack, Ms. Mullaly and I are always trying to figure out where to go next with the faculty members. But it's going shockingly fast, and in some ways that's why it's been a little bit of a challenge. They're finishing up the internal construction very, very quickly, and we're moving people more quickly than I anticipated.
As the construction has moved from floor to floor, teachers have had to make the move across the street. Some have taught in trailers, while others have had to endure the echoing of the upstairs classroom in Smith Hall.
With all the noise and relocation, also comes some major positives.
It's exciting, right? More than anything, right? I tell families all the time this is the most exciting time to be a student or to be a student athlete here at Boys Latin. We've got a new addition to the upper school, which is going to allow us to have more classroom spaces, a new art studio, and more places for you all to learn. We're going to also have a facelift to our gym, and we're going to add new locker rooms. We're going to have a new fitness center.
The new construction itself is beautiful. I think that we're really going to have a fresh and clean and updated look, which, well, it's not just attractive aesthetically, that's wonderful, but it's also going to be a better learning environment for the students. We have a new HVAC system, which is a fresh air-based system that's going to keep the temperatures regulated and moderated with fresh air in a way that the old system didn't, as well as the lighting system itself is a more natural light. It's just a more organic feel, and it's going to be a better learning experience for the students and a better teaching experience for the teachers.
I've seen some pretty awesome construction projects during my time here, whether it is building out the new middle school or our student commons spaces that have really made a difference for our community. And I'm excited that now it's the upper school's turn.
If you're an interested student and you're looking into the 9th grade, there's no better place and there's no better time to be a student here at Boys Latin.
As each part of the building gets finished, we are able to get a sneak peek of what is to come. The new classrooms and air conditioning make our learning experiences much better. My personal favorite, however, is the newly furnished library, which has nice study rooms and comfortable furniture. You really don't know how much you miss something until you are without it. And that happened while the library was under construction. Overall, all the noise, disruptions, and playing musical classrooms will be worth it when construction is complete. Thanks to everyone for all they've done. Go Lakers.
Thanks, Evan. Even as the physical structure of BL changes around us, some things remain constant. Coach Richie Sell is one of those constants. But after more than 2 decades leading the Lakers football program, Coach Shell stepped down after this past season. Tyrell Moore and Malachi Dixon have more.
Okay. Hey! Coach Richie Sell steps down as a head football coach on Lake Avenue. Words that caught many by surprise. After more than 20 years leading the Lakers, a change has come to the maroon and white.
It's better to go out on top, and it's also, I would never have left this position if I hadn't have met Tony. But I'm just tired. I was tired of being in charge. 22 years, I'm enjoying what I'm doing now, mentoring.
The same as a T-bone steak? No.
I played football since I was in the seven years old, over in West Baltimore, and then Woodlawn Rec, and then played at Loyola High School.
Coach Shell attended Johns Hopkins University, where he was the starting strong safety for the Blue Jays football team for 3 years and captain for 2. Showing early signs of being a leader.
I was always on time, always the hardest worker, tough. I was good, so I think people gravitated towards me. So, yeah, I've always been a leader, try to be a leader. So, yeah, subtly, but yeah.
Although I do remember Coach Shell screeching like an eagle the first time I met him, he was never one to yell and scream on game day. He preferred the calm approach when it was time for business.
I think winning is done in practice, so you'll probably see that I don't yell and scream much on the sidelines because the kids take your persona. I'm kind of calm, cool, and collected. Can get intense, but kids don't need to be coached when they're on the field. They need to be coached during practice. So practice is where, in the early, where I was the most intense.
Coach always taught his players the value of balancing intensity and restraint, like sending me home to get rest instead of letting me stupidly play through a pretty bad illness in the rivalry game.
Maybe that's why I'm coaching high school, because, there's more to it than just, I'm not coaching at Maryland or in the pros where you got to win. I want to kind of work balance life.
Coach Shell is stepping down with nearly 130 wins, including a 14-8 record against that school on Falls Road.
Well, if he hadn't pulled land out, he wouldn't have intercepted the ball.
Let's go, Coach.
It's a little nerve-wracking at first because you want to go out on top. You just want them to play well, and they were so amped up. I mean, one, they were amped up because it's St. Paul's. They're always amped up when it's St. Paul's, whether it's my last day or not. And then the fact that they wanted to win the game for me, which I was very appreciative of. That's why defensively in the beginning, I think we made mistakes that we took eyes off receivers, and then we calmed down. Coach made our defense coordinator made some great adjustments, and then we smacked them.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, guys.
Football is a great teacher. Teamwork, discipline, organization, culture.
Coach Shell always made it a top priority to hire the best possible candidates for his coaching staff, with an emphasis on character.
Although I had some decent coaches, it wasn't like these guys are getting, here at Boys Latin, they're really getting coached. I mean, all 22 years. I mean, now that Tony's here, Greg Pike, Coach Sandusky. I mean, I have always had great coaches because that's what I focused on. You hire great guys.
And what made the decision to step away easier to make?
Jeter!
You got to get the right person, the person who cares about academics, who teaches, and then there's a really good football coach, which he is. And he's been with me 3 years now, so I've been letting him he's been running a lot of the day-to-day operation stuff, and I don't run the defense anymore. I'm just there to support and help and bounce ideas off of him. And it was great. I mean, there was no doubt. I mean, it was a no-brainer. That guy is BL through and through. I mean, he loves the place.
Don't worry, Coach Shell is leaving us. He'll be teaching, mentoring, and doing whatever it takes to help the BL community.
I'm going to be around next year, don't worry. And I'm not going to get in the way of the other coach. I'll be teaching, doing laundry,
So what does Coach want now that he doesn't have to worry about getting the game plan ready and yelling at the refs?
Kids want to take my classes. Kids enjoy being around me. I think they respect me. Well, I know they do because I respect them. That's all, just to be respected and have a smile on their face when they think about me, when I'm in the dirt, ashes. Your life is short. You got to smile.
Coming up after the break.
It's not this.
Quite a few new faces on campus this year. We'll introduce you to Dr. K and Mr. V. Plus, get lost on an island as Desi sits down with BL Junior Connor Schoenwede. And we take a look at the creation of flannels on the field. We'll be right back.
When the lightning detection system sounds, it sounds with one loud horn and a voice that actually says to clear the fields.
Lightning has been detected in the area. Clear all fields and stop all outdoor activities immediately.
When the lightning detection system decides that it's clear of lightning within 10 miles of the school, it will automatically sound after 30 minutes, all clear, with 3 sirens that say you can resume outdoor activities.
Inside the Julian Smith Alumni House, you'll find the development and alumni offices, as well as an area where BL alum can gather when they come back to campus. Since the pandemic, I realized too many current Lakers have never been inside to check out all the awesome BL history and memorabilia, to say hello to Mr. Earhart, or just to hang out. So come on by, say hi, learn your Laker history, and take a load off at the same time. Come by for a chat or just to chill. BL Alumni House. Hope to see you guys soon.
Sometimes, when a camera enters a classroom, certain students hide from the camera or shy away. But sometimes, boys seek out the camera or even watch the camera. Take it seriously. It's not a joke. Crowley Watch.
You know what would make your Friday even better? How about Chick-fil-A in the morning? The junior class officers are tasked with coming up with the funding for the senior-junior class prom, in which the majority of money is found within food sales. The class officers partnered up with Chick-fil-A and have been putting all the income made from food sales towards this year's prom.
One assignment we had in video production class was to produce a sit-down interview, hosted by Desi and featuring any Laker he chose. The crew staged the scene, mic'd the guests, and manned the cameras. The segment was nameless at the time, and no one was sure what we would get, but what emerged was both informative and tropical. Hello everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Desi Arrup, and today I have the honor of interviewing Connor Schoenwetter.
Thank you.
Nice
It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, so when did you start at BL?
I've been here since 4th grade.
And why did you start here?
I came from an all-Catholic school, and I just kind of tired of it. And when I shot at BL, I can kind of tell this was the place I wanted to be.
Sweet. All right, so freshman year was kind of in shambles due to COVID. How did that affect you?
I still had a good time. We were in our cohorts, just all the freshmen, and I really got to get close with some of the boys in my class, and I still had a great time.
So what clubs are you currently involved in?
So right now I'm in the Laker Buddy program. So that's the BL Buddies, and I go over, I meet with, I have a 3rd grader I was assigned to, and I'll meet with him like once every 2 weeks.
Tell us a little more about the Laker Buddies.
Yeah, so I feel like the Laker Buddy program kind of feels like it's community service in a way. I mean, you're really giving back to the community. You're helping out younger kids who really do look up to us older guys. And it's always good to show them that you just help them with homework or like help them in the class or just throw the football with them because they really do love just being out there with the older kids.
It's fantastic. BL classes, we have a small school and our classes are much smaller than many other schools around us. Mm-hmm. Do you think you benefit, or you think that's kind of a drawback?
100%. I definitely benefit from it. I think it's really great that you can have these good interactions with your teachers. I mean, your teachers they know everyone in the class by their first name. They know how they're doing in the class. So I feel like students definitely benefit from that, and you have better relationships with your teachers.
So what's your favorite class right now?
Currently, you just pulled me out of it. I had physics with Miss Rod. Great teacher. We do a lot of fun things in there. Just this past week, we were shooting rockets, and I had a little bit of free time. Miss Rod let us shoot the rockets at each other. So we're always doing something fun in that class.
There's a lot of construction going on right now. Are you excited for the outcome?
I am. I think it's really good for the school. I mean, like the locker room is a little run down earlier, but I think it would be kind of cool to get a new sit-in lockers and all of that. Excited.
Sweet. All right, let's get into the good questions.
Let's.
All right.
Let's.
What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I'd probably have to go with, I'll go with a classic here. Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street.
I mean, I think everyone knows that movie. It's great.
Very classic. You have to sing a song.
Shout out my label, that's me.
All right, hold on. No. You got to sing the song.
Word for word.
Word for word, and it can't be the ABCs.
Okay, give me Party in the USA. I could go bar for that. Miley Cyrus does spit. Hopped off the plane at LAX to dream in a cardigan. Welcome to the land of famous sex. Am I gonna fit in? Look to the car.
Nope.
Look to my right.
It took you maybe 10 seconds. It's jumped in the cab, not
jumped in
looked
the cab.
Why would you look in a cab and not jump in?
Yeah, I don't know. My brain was a million miles.
All right. If you could have lunch with someone, dead or alive, anytime, who would it be?
I'd say George Washington.
And why? Why would it be George Washington?
The stories he could tell you. I mean, think about it. You can learn about every single history story about him.
So you're a history guy.
And that's a primary source right there. Write that down.
You're a history guy, huh?
I wouldn't say I'm a history guy, but I think some of those wars back then pretty interesting.
I'd like you to describe boys Latin in 3 words.
Okay, it's a good one.
I'd say welcoming, for sure. Definitely a very inclusive environment, no matter what background you come from, who you are.
Welcoming and inclusive.
Exciting. There's always something going on Lake Ave. I mean, there's not a day goes by where there's not something exciting happening.
Connor, thank you for coming to this interview out of your favorite class.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you, Mr. Rod. And we'll see you guys next time. This school year, we welcomed several new faculty members to the Laker family, including a few who are serving the BL community in different ways. 2 of the new upper school faculty members are athletic coaches as well as teachers. Get to know Mr. V and Dr. K.
I just want the endings. I don't want any verbs, just like the endings. Hi, I'm Betsy Zvernyov. This is my first year at BL, and I'm the new French teacher and hockey coach. I've been teaching for 4 years now, so I started at WVU, where I was a TA. I did my first 2 years getting a master's of linguistics, and then my last year getting a master's in more like teaching methods. And I taught there for 3 years, and this is my first year in a high school setting. I'm from the north of France, Dunkirk, so probably a lot of people have watched the movie, so I'm from right there, very close to Belgium and the UK. Not really, actually. I just always loved languages, so I started learning English in primary school, then all the way through middle school, high school, and college. And I guess I just really like trying to get students to be better at languages and also trying to get them to actually like them. Apart from teaching French, I'm also trying to teach how it can be fun and how it can be interesting.
Challenging yet fair, quiz about...
My name is AJ Colhep. This is my first year at Boys Latin School. I am teaching English and journalism and coaching squash and tennis this year. I've been teaching for 20-some years, and the last 21 were at a boarding school in New England. Short answer would be Trinity College in Connecticut was first stop. Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond was second stop, and University of Texas at Austin was the third stop. I play an acoustic guitar. If I had $1 million, I'd probably have a few different guitars, and I have a little amp that has some different settings on it, so I can make it sound like different sorts of guitars. I actually didn't start playing till COVID, when I went from 60-hour work weeks all over boarding school campus to 25-hour work weeks on a Zoom screen. I found myself with lots of free time, and so I picked up the guitar.
I guess being able to connect with the students, especially here at BL, there's so much that we can talk about. It's like being able to connect about sports or having my players as students is very cool because you get to see them outside of school and also in school.
I think it's nice for my students to see me as more than just the English teacher. And conversely, it's valuable for me to see them in a different context as well.
Puck drops, we're into it. It's our game, okay? Just being able to share my experience and what I know. Because I think that when I was in high school, if I had a teacher from the US, like kind of like me here, it would have been like very interesting and very cool to have that.
We have a lot of different opportunities to kind of connect with those kids, which is, I think that's gold from their perspective, but also from my perspective as well.
You don't want to be just their teacher and they come into class and you're not interested in what they do outside.
When we get to do English, that's great, and when we get to do other things, that's great on a different level.
We see them as students, but they're also growing up, and so those high school years, they can be tough sometimes. We're not just teachers, but also trying to help them growing up and help them in those high school years.
Coming up next,
There is a new head ball coach on Lake Ave. What does BL think?
There's no better person to replace Coach Shell than Coach Tony.
And Flannels on the Field recaps their adventurous football season.
Day, come on. What were you seeing? What were you thinking?
Stick around.
The scooter is an e-move cruiser. It's hard to be disappointed when you come into work when you're riding a scooter. You feel the wind through your hair. It's a wonderful experience.
Have you ever crashed?
I have crashed a scooter once.
Hey, Mr. Roche, have you seen my coat?
Coach Spinella, have you seen my coat?
Where the heck is my jacket?
Check the lost and found.
Need to check the lost and found. All right, that sounds great. Thank you, I will.
Look up in the lost and found.
Good idea.
Something lost? Something missing? Good thing we have a lost and found. Locations in all 3 schools, plus the Bauer Commons.
The idea was for me to sit down with one of my best friends, develop my interview skills by asking questions about topics I was interested in, both serious and funny. We quickly forgot the cameras were there, and it was like we were 2 friends hanging out on an island talking about life. Plus, I had a Hawaiian shirt on that day, so that helped with the name. And now, On an Island with Desi Arrup has been picked up for a full season on BLTV. Our next episode, I sit down with Headmaster Chris Post for the inside info. Who would you like to see on an island with me? Send your suggestions to Mr. Penchek's email.
Recent news spread that Coach Tony is going to be the head coach. How do we feel about this?
I mean, I'm just real excited for the opportunity that BL is going to get, and I can't wait to see what's going to come. I'll come back to every game next year, actually.
I feel very strongly of it. I think Coach Tony's going to have us in good hands. I think we'll be ready to go next season. We'll get after it with the boys.
Obviously, you've heard of Coach Tony's new promotion to head football coach. What are some of your thoughts on that?
He's the greatest coach of all time. Only thought.
How do you feel about the new head coach position being taken over by Coach Tony?
I think he is the perfect choice. Going to lead us to a championship.
He can definitely do it, but it's going to be tough.
What do you think this is going to bring to the program?
You know, I like Coach. He's got a good relationship with all the guys here. I think he's bringing in some fresh ideas. It'll be great for the program.
It's pretty sad seeing Coach Shell go. I didn't really know him that well, but I feel like Coach Tony would be a good fit.
I think it's a great hire. I think he's going to take our program to places it's never been. Glad for the future.
I think Coach Tony's very experienced himself. I think he can get the job done. I think he's going to lead BL to a very good season next year.
He deserves it. He's a great guy and a great coach. I love him.
I think it's great. He's a great dude. And he's going to do a lot for the team, and I think we're going to win a lot of games this upcoming season.
How do we feel about Coach Tony being the new head coach?
We love it. Him as an assistant coach last year was great, and just happy for him to get this opportunity.
I'm probably not going to be here to see it because I'm a senior, but I think it's going to be a lot of good things, like in terms of recruiting.
Coach Shell, he ended the season off as a bang, and I feel like Coach Tony will continue to put the program on to where he was the projection, the path, listen, linear angles, the path that it was as soon as he was hired as an offensive coordinator.
I'm excited for the team. I think it's a great addition.
I think Coach Tony has really put forth a proper agenda, a clean slate, and has opened up for some opportunities for the program.
I think this is a new era for boys line football, and I just think it's going to be great.
I'm certainly sad to see Coach Shell go. His son was my liquor buddy, Ryer, knew him well. He always comes up to me and says, Uncle Ben, but I think Coach Tony is the right man for this.
A lot of fire and energy, man.
Oh, yeah.
I love the way he lives. I love the way he coaches. I think he's a God-fearing man, and I'm excited what he's about to bring.
I think the construction zone right now is the perfect kind of metaphor for this transition we're going through in the sense that Coach Shell has laid a really great foundation. But Coach Tony's going to take that foundation, the bones of what Coach Shell leaves behind, and he's going to turn it into a beautiful thing for our school. And I know Coach Tony's ready to put in the work. He's going to wear his hard hat too, get to work and do what needs to be done to make sure that we are not just a great football program, developing great football players, but developing great young men.
Congrats, Coach.
Congratulations, Coach Renato.
Congrats, Coach.
Congrats, Coach Tony. I love you.
Congrats, Coach.
Go Lakers, P&T.
High voltage.
Flannels on the field started at the first football game versus Liberty High School. Marcus and I wore flannels to the field thinking there would be a student section, but we're not surprised we were the only Lakers in the stands. After the game, we wanted to interview Ron and Dede, so Marcus came up with the name Flannels on the Field.
What's up, everybody? This is Flannels on the Field.
Our first interview was filmed by Andy Smith, and it was the start of a journey.
We're out. We'll see you next week at Gilman. Let's go! Let's go, Max. Let's go.
The second interview we did was at Gilman. We took a hard loss to the Greyhounds, and unlike the first game, we had a large student section. It was a great learning experience because asking questions to the losing team can be tough, but it's part of the job. We interviewed head coach Richie Shell and a few players.
We fought the entire time. You saw, the last defensive stance. They thought they were going to take the knee and win with 4 minutes left, but our defense came through. And, that's what we do. That's what we're taught. Resiliency, never give up.
We started getting better as we went on with every interview.
Thank you.
Thank
you very
Nick.
much.
Thank you, man.
The next game versus Curly, the boys got run over by a star running back.
Hey, guys. Flannels on the field here. We're at Boys Latin, where we're playing a hard-fought game against Curly. Boys are playing tough. Got the whole school here in the student section. We're all drenched. We'll see you in a little bit.
We caught up with Coach Shell after the game, and everyone's mood were at a low point after 2 straight losses. The fourth game was a short road trip as we visited John Carroll at their home turf.
Mr. P.
It was a cold night under the lights, but the boys were ready to go.
Hey, guys. Flannels on the field here. Nick and Marcus under the lights at John Carroll. We're going to take some cool shots. We'll be back with you at halftime.
Trip Reddy played through a painful injury all game and did not miss any snaps. The boys played hard but ended up losing. We caught Coach Shell after the game.
What's the situation on Trip?
Trip, he's a warrior, man. That kid's been playing with a bad back all year, and I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be all right.
The first few games, Nick and I thought we would both be hosts, but eventually I was running the camera and Nick was asking the questions.
While we tried to get to as many games as we could, some days our schedule was just too packed. Nick couldn't make it when we visited Concordia Prep, but I was able to get some valuable time in behind the camera. I was developing my shooting skills and techniques. Again, it was another tough loss, but the boys played hard and made some plays.
The final game we went to was the biggest game of the year, Boys Latin versus the school on Falls Road. The game was at Johnny Nice Stadium at Towson University. We made chants for the big board at Towson during lunch. Our student section was buzzing, and we had the edge on them all night. And after the game, we ended our year with interviews from Coach Shell in his last game as head coach.
You're getting a little emotional in your post-game speech.
Yeah, I'm not as emotional as I thought, but you know what? This was a labor of love, but I know it's time.
Best coach to ever do it right here. Best coach to ever do it.
I knew after 22 years, guys, there's a lot of other stuff that goes on with coaching, ancillary stuff that is just takes away, and teaching. I want to see if I can, be an even, better teacher and work on that.
Offensive coach Tony Renato, player Liam White, and Dede.
I knew that it had to be done. I mean, I knew my team was down, and we needed that TD.
And then at the end, we interviewed headmaster Chris Post.
It was terrific. It was absolutely terrific.
The vibes were up, and everyone is excited for what's to come next year.
It's great. Win, lose, or draw. It's fun to have them there and to goof around and, tell them how the game went. And they did a nice job.
If we haven't been to your classroom, or if you haven't seen us around campus, you will soon. BLTV is on the lake and on the air.
For the entire crew of On the Lake, thanks for watching. See you next time. Go Lakers.
Are we done speeding? Cut it.